France's trust in the Maginot Line. After World War I, France built the heavily fortified Maginot Line along the German border at great expense. This strategy was based on the flawed assumption that the next war would also be a static, trench-based conflict like World War I. They severely underestimated the value of the Belgian border and the forested regions. In 1940, Nazi Germany employed the new tactic of blitzkrieg, attacking through these very areas once thought impenetrable. The Maginot Line was completely bypassed, and France fell in less than 2 months, a rapid defeat largely resulting from this strategic miscalculation. Failure to appoint a successor for Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great died at the peak of his power at the age of 32. Without naming a clear successor, this lack of planning immediately plunged his vast empire, which stretched from Greece to India, into crisis. His generals, the Diadochi, fought among themselves for 41 years to divide his legacy. These prolonged civil wars weakened the empire and split it into several weak rival states. Ultimately, this fragmentation paved the way for the expansion and dominance of the Roman Empire over large parts of the Hellenistic world. Hiring the Anglo-Saxons by Roman Britain. In the early 5th century AD, the Western Roman Empire was collapsing. According to some sources, a Romano-British ruler sought help from Anglo-Saxon mercenaries to defend against invaders. These allies soon realized they could conquer the land for themselves. They turned on their employers and seized control of large parts of Britain. This tactical error established the foundation for the long-term Anglo-Saxon presence in Britain, forever altering the linguistic and cultural future of the island. The decision not to save Lehman Brothers. In September 2008, the bankruptcy of Lehman Brothers, one of the largest in history, became a global shock. The U.S. government's decision not to bail out this bank, unlike the actions taken for other financial institutions, is widely considered a major mistake. This move triggered a loss of confidence in the global financial system, froze credit markets, and led to stock market crashes. The event ignited the 2008 global financial crisis, which resulted in a major economic recession, the loss of millions of jobs, and widespread social tensions across the world. The grounding of the Exxon Valdez tanker on March 24, 1989, the oil tanker Exxon Valdez struck a reef in Alaska due to human error and operational failures. Approximately 40 million liters of crude oil spilled into the pristine waters of Prince William Sound. This environmental disaster polluted over 2,000 kilometers of coastline, killing hundreds of thousands of seabirds and billions of fish. Although the cleanup costs were staggering, the devastating effects on the region's ecosystem persisted for decades, profoundly influencing U.S. environmental policies. The misunderstanding of measurement units in the Mars Climate Orbiter. In 1999, NASA's Mars Climate Orbiter burned up in the Martian atmosphere due to a foolish unit conversion error. Engineers at Lockheed Martin, the spacecraft's manufacturer, used imperial units while NASA's team used the metric system. This discrepancy caused severe navigation miscalculations, leading the spacecraft to enter the Martian atmosphere at a much lower altitude than intended. The incident, which resulted in the loss of a $125 million project, highlighted how a simple communication error could destroy a complex scientific mission. The defeat of Rome in the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest. In the year 9 AD, 3 Roman legions led by Publius Quinctilius Varus were annihilated in a devastating ambush in the Teutoburg Forest by Germanic tribes under the command of Arminius. This defeat was a massive shock to the Roman Empire, and personally to Emperor Augustus. Rome never managed to gain control over Germania, and the Rhine River remained the empire's northern border. This allowed the Germanic tribes to remain independent and, centuries later, play a key role in the fall of the Western Roman Empire, ultimately altering the course of European history forever. The attack on Pearl Harbor. On December 7, 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on the naval base at Pearl Harbor, aiming to cripple the U.S. Pacific Fleet and secure its imperial ambitions in Asia. However, this attack was a major strategic miscalculation. It not only failed to completely destroy the American fleet, as the aircraft carriers were absent from the harbor, but also awakened the sleeping giant of the United States. A wave of unity and public outrage propelled the U.S. to immediately enter World War II. This decision ultimately led to Japan's total and unconditional defeat following the dropping of 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The diversion of the Fourth Crusade. The original goal of the Fourth Crusade was to recapture Jerusalem from Muslim control. However, the campaign deviated drastically from its purpose. First, the Crusaders, following Venetian directives, sacked the Christian city of Zara. Then, influenced by Byzantine political intrigues, they turned toward Constantinople, the capital of the Orthodox Christian Byzantine Empire. Finally, in 1204, they brutally looted and destroyed the city. This act not only severely weakened Byzantium, ultimately leading to its fall to the Ottomans, but also deepened the rift between the Catholic and Orthodox churches for centuries. The destruction of Baghdad and the House of Wisdom by the Mongols. In 1258, Mongol forces led by Hulagu Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan, attacked Baghdad, the capital of the Abbasid Caliphate and one of the world's greatest cities. They besieged and then sacked the city, massacring its inhabitants and destroying the vast House of Wisdom library, along with thousands of precious books and manuscripts. This event not only ended the Islamic Golden Age, but also dealt an irreparable blow to human knowledge. An immense treasure of science, philosophy, and literature collected there was lost forever, setting back the progress of civilization. Kim Jong-nam's trip to Tokyo Disneyland. Kim Jong-nam, the eldest son of North Korea's former leader Kim Jong-il, was the presumed heir to the regime. However, in 2001, he attempted to visit Tokyo Disneyland using a fake Dominican Republic passport and was arrested and deported at the airport. This foolish and embarrassing act enraged his father and led to his removal from the line of succession. His younger half-brother Kim Jong-un eventually rose to power instead. Under Kim Jong-un's leadership, North Korea continued to develop its nuclear program and adopted a significantly more hostile stance toward the world, impacting regional stability to this day, rejecting Urban's offer by the Byzantines. In 1453, the Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II, Mehmed the Conqueror, laid siege to Constantinople. A Hungarian engineer named Urban offered to build massive cannons for the Byzantine Empire. However, due to the high cost, Emperor Constantine XI could not afford it. Urban then went to the Ottomans, who eagerly welcomed him. He built for them the Great Cannon, Basilica, the most powerful artillery of its time. These cannons shattered the ancient, impenetrable walls of Constantinople, making the fall of the city possible. The fall of Constantinople marked the end of the Eastern Roman Empire and ushered in a new era in world history, the Titanic ignoring warnings on a faulty maneuver. In April 1912, the Titanic sank due to a deadly combination of errors. Iceberg warnings were ignored, and the ship continued at high speed through dangerous waters. Upon colliding with the iceberg, the order to turn hard a starboard caused the ship to scrape along the iceberg instead of hitting it head-on, tearing open multiple compartments. A head-on collision would likely have damaged only 1 or 2 compartments, and the ship might not have sunk. Additionally, the insufficient number of lifeboats led to the tragic loss of approximately 1,500 lives. The Mexican attack on the Alamo. In 1836, Mexican General Santa Anna attacked the Alamo fortress in Texas, which was defended by Texian rebels. Although he won the battle and killed all the defenders, this victory was a strategic mistake. Remember, the Alamo became a powerful rallying cry for the rebels, fueling their anger. Just 6 weeks later, Texian forces launched a surprise attack against the Mexicans at the Battle of San Jacinto, shouting, "Remember the Alamo," and quickly defeated them. This battle secured Texas's independence from Mexico and paved the way for its eventual annexation by the United States and westward expansion, the Trojans accepting the Trojan Horse. According to legend, during the Trojan War, after a long and unsuccessful siege, the Greeks left a giant wooden horse at the gates of Troy as an offering and pretended to retreat. Despite warnings, the Trojans were deceived and brought the horse inside the city. Greek soldiers hidden within the horse emerged at night, opened the city gates, and allowed the Greek army to enter. The city of Troy was completely sacked and destroyed. This legendary mistake has become a universal symbol of deception and the catastrophic consequences of misplaced trust.